currency conversions. As you travel from country to country, if they use a different currency than you're used to, you're going to need to convert that so you can use the local currency. So we have ourselves here a currency rate exchange piece, and this changes daily, right? Like the currency rates are constantly changing. So we're going to just use what we have here. Now, with the exchange rates, we can go to two different ways. So we have the per US dollar or in US dollar. And I think it's important that we talk about this before we start any of the problems. So we're going to use the US and euro. Now, when it says in US dollars, that means we have 0.9825 in US dollars. And because we're in euro, that's 1 euro. Okay, so that's what this one means. It means the foreign currency is on the bottom. When it says per US dollar in the second column, well, we know that per is a fraction bar, so that means per US dollars in the bottom, and we would have 1.0178 euro in the top. Now, these are equivalent. These two things are the same. It just depends on where you want the units, and it's set up so that you can use either one of these, so you just multiply instead of having to divide. But if you like the per US dollar for all of them, you can really use those for every single one, and it's fine. The big thing is about convenience. So which is more convenient to convert euros to US dollars? So if you are given a certain number of euros, which one of these would you use? Well, we would use the 0.9825 US dollars to 1 euro because just like normal dimensional analysis, you want the units to cancel out. So let's do some examples. You get an internship in Madrid, Spain. You take $500 spending money. How many euros can you exchange this for? So I have $500 US dollars. Now for my exchange, I want dollars on the bottom because we want those to cancel out. So we need per US dollar. So we're going to use the 1.0178 euros per $1. My dollar signs cancel out. I multiply across in the top, and I have 508.9 euros. Then you leave Madrid, and you have 350 euro, and you want to exchange that back to dollars. Okay, so now I need euro in the bottom, I need American dollars in the top, so we're using the in US dollar column because we need the foreign currency in the denominator. So I'm going to use the 0.9825 over 1 euro. That makes the euros cancel out. We multiply straight across, and we have roughly $343.88 rounded to the nearest penny. Number 4, let's go to Cancun. And we come back from Cancun with 2,000 pesos. How much are they worth in US dollars? Okay, so I have 2,000 pesos. Notice how I always start with what I'm given. I always use my units, and I let the units guide me. Since I've started with pesos in the numerator, I need pesos in the denominator, and I need the American dollars in the numerator. So because I need to be in US dollars, I'm using that first column. I find the Mexican peso, and so I have 0.0489 in the numerator, 1 peso in the denominator. So now my pesos cancel out. I multiply straight across 2,000 times 0.0489, and I have roughly $97.80 in pesos. A McDonald's Big Mac in China costs you 21.7 yuan in July of 2022. So 21.7 yuan over 1. Again, let the units guide you. Yuans are in the bottom, US dollars. Because the foreign currency is in the denominator, we're going to use our in US dollars. I find my Chinese yuan here, and I get 0.1494 over 1. Now, that requires my yuans to cancel out. I multiply straight across, and I have roughly $3.24. Now, the second part of this question says, how much is this in US dollars? I will admit this publicly. I have never eaten a Big Mac, and I I can't eat at McDonald's because it gives me stomach issues. I don't know what it is, but I'm like addicted to their fries. And if I go there, I eat the fries, and then I end up with stomach issues. So I can't eat there, so I don't know what this answer is. And it makes me very sad because they have the best fries. I'm just going to say it. Okay. Next problem. You can get a reasonable meal in Japan for about $10. Now that's 10 American dollars. How much yen is this? How many yen? So how many Japanese yen? Well, we need dollars in the bottom and yen in the top. So because I need per US dollar, I'm using the second column. So I have 136.16 yen over $1. This makes my dollars cancel out. I multiply straight across and I get 1,361.6 yen. Number 7. I love this problem. You're on a train from India to China, and you want to know how many yuan you'll be able to get for 10,000 rupees. Okay, so I start with 10,000 rupees. I don't have a rupees to yuan on here, but I can go from rupees to US dollars. So that's in US dollars. So I go find my Indian rupee here. So $0.0126 is 1 rupee. And then I can put dollars in the bottom and Chinese yuan in the top. So now I'm looking at per US dollar, find the Chinese yuan. So I have 6.6945 yuan, is $1. So my rupees cancel out, my dollars cancel out. And I'm ready to just multiply straight across. So 10,000 times 0.0126 times 6.6945 gives me an answer of 843.51 Chinese yuan. I love those problems. They're just so fun. And let's go one more. Which is more expensive? A jacket that costs 50 US dollars or a jacket that costs 50 Australian dollars. Now here, the easiest way to do this is pick one. Do you want to change everything to US dollars or Australian dollars? I'm going to pick Australian dollars. Okay, so we'll call the US jacket is jacket 1, and we'll call the Australian jacket number 2. So we know this one is already 50 Australian dollars. Now I'm going to take the $50 jacket in US, and I'm going to change that to Australian dollars. So per US dollar, find my Australian dollar, and I get 1.4582 over 1. That cancels out my American dollars. I multiply straight across, and I get 72.91 Australian dollars. So they need to be in the same units so that you can compare them. And after I have them both in Australian dollars, we can see easily which one is more expensive. The US jacket. Because when I compare, 72 is more than 50. So that means the $50 in the US is going to be more. It's going to cost more. Because if I was in Australia, that same jacket would cost me 72 Australian dollars, whereas the Australian jacket is only 50 Australian dollars. So you've got to be in the same unit so you can see which one is more expensive, that kind of thing. I love currency conversions.